All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin. Another week, another drama full of, transfer news and whatnot. It was good to have the game during the weekend to talk about, something different than just transfer news. I can't wait for the next game to happen for Chelsea preseason. But as I said, and as Ishan's always been here in this whole transfer news saga since the transfer window opened up, it is exciting. It is exciting to wake up every morning and see new transfer rumors, new targets and whatnot. And it's good to talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Like always, joining the other side of the coin. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up all the way to 100 later today, once we have 100 people, obviously. But I'm hoping we do that. So let's, get those likes up. If you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. We are very, very close to 6,000 subscribers. We are very close. So before we get all of that started, Ishan, my boy, another week. How you doing?
Yeah, another week. And, just like you said, every day is an exciting day to wake up into some Chelsea transfer news. And a couple of days, I haven't been waking up to any transfer news. So what I did in frustration is that I went to Instagram and started following Sunil Chhetri, if you know what I mean.
The Indian legend.
Yeah.
Why not, bro? But you're right. I mean, every now and then it seems a bit quiet, and then boom, comes a news. A few days ago, which we're going to talk about. Not a few days ago, actually, in the last 24 hours, the whole Lewandowski news sort of came about. There was a Kingsley Coman news that's come about, and just today, the whole a few updates on Haaland and whatnot. But most importantly, the whole Tchouameni and Rice news that sort of materialized, which I would like to touch upon. Live chat, quick shout out. I like to do these shout outs early on. Sudazan, like always, my man, thank you so much for joining. Vernon is here. Phantom of many topics. Love you, my man. Thanks for joining. Eli is here, which is fantastic to see. Up the Chelsea's here. Leroy Brown is here. London is Blue is here. This is fantastic. How's it, guys, from this is South Africa, right? Republic of South Africa, I think that's what it is, RSA.
Yeah.
Or is that
South Africa?
Or is that Republic of Saudi Arabia?
No, it's South Africa. It has to be South
RSA?
Africa.
Okay, South Africa, man. We got people from South Africa. That's brilliant. Okay, let's get this show rock and rolling. My man Cal is here as well. Brilliant. Okay, Ishan, first up, there was news about Robert Lewandowski in the last 24 to 48 hours. Initially, I thought, nah, come on, man. Get out of here. Like, not this again. Especially from the German side of things. The news is sort of beating up over there. And I was like, no, I can't take this seriously. But then some of the Chelsea in the knows, sort of the people that have the Patreon and whatnot, started saying that there is a certain interest here as an alternative, obviously. Number one choice is always Haaland. But Chelsea's starting to look, if this doesn't happen, the Haaland situation doesn't happen, they need to move quick to ensure there is an adequate striker for Thomas Tuchel to be able to challenge for titles next season. So apparently, Robert Lewandowski is a legitimate sort of alternative option for £50 million. Now, the biggest hurdle in this whole situation, though, is the age. Because he is going to be 33 next month. So he's 32 now. Next month, he turns 33. And Chelsea, as you know, generally with older sort of players, it's very difficult to sort of give them a 3-year contract. Do you know what I mean? Like Robert Lewandowski, if we were to give him a 3-year contract, he'll be 36, which is quite concerning. But I mean, when you look at the man, and I'm going to bring up the stats very soon. Let me just bring this up before I get your thoughts on it. And live chat, let us know what your thoughts are about Robert Lewandowski. So let's just enlarge that a little bit more. Okay, So Robert Lewandowski, his contract expires on Jan 30th, 2023. So he's got a couple of more years. Essentially, you'd think after this season where he starts thinking about whether he wants to move somewhere else or whatnot. So it's probably the right time if Bayern ever thinks about letting him go, which I highly doubt. That's my sort of perspective on it, because who are they going to get a backup? Because I'm pretty sure they're probably thinking about Haaland as well next season for 75 million, the buyout clause. So in regards to, whether it's the right time, it probably is the right time to sort of let go of him if Bayern wanted to. And I want to show you his stats, because for a 32-year-old Ishan, as we all know, he broke the record last season in Germany.
Yeah.
What's it called? Muller? Was it Muller's record?
Gerard Muller, yeah.
Gerard Muller. Yeah, 40 plus goals. I just want to bring that up. Come on. Yeah, this internet is slow. Superjit Jyoti is saying Lewa won't leave Bayern, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think Lewandowski will leave Bayern Munich. Oh, man, is this ever going to come, man? This is ridiculous how slow it is. Come on. Up to Chelsea saying, Miz, come to Vegas, lad. Declared saying NBN. Yeah, declared. I'm on NBN, man. And the thing is just damn slow. I just can't believe it. Look how long it's taking to load this up. This is disgusting attitude, man. Anyway, while this loads up, Ishan. Strategy Jyoti is saying refresh, Miz. Maybe I should refresh, see what happens. Yeah, Ishan, while that comes up, man, what's your thoughts on Robert Lewandowski? I mean, is this actually probable at all? I mean, the age factor, what are you thinking about?
Talking about the rumor regarding Lewandowski, I think so. It is said that Chelsea will make a bid of 50 million, right? Or is it said that Bayern Munich are asking for a 50 million pound bid? It is said that.
I think that's sort of like the market price at the moment. Chelsea's definitely not said anything. It's just, I think it's from the German side of things that they're thinking that, it could be worth around 50 million pounds.
I mean, it should be way more than 50 million pounds, to be very honest. He's probably the best striker in world football.
I mean,
now.
He's 32, bro.
Yeah, it is. But then, just look at the way he's been slapping in goals. I mean, he's just broken Gerard Muller's record, and 50 million. I mean, come on, you're asking for 100 million for
41 goals, bro. 41 goals in 29 German Bundesliga matches. Wow.
He just broke
Champions League as well,
Muller's
5
record.
goals.
Yeah, so he's one of the contenders for Ballon d'Or, and that shows how big of a player he is, and I think so 50 million pound is way too less for this guy. Yes, we're looking about the age, and we accept the fact that there's no return value if we want to sell him 3 years or 4 years down the line. Accept that, but then look at the way look at his output at this point of time. It is absolutely immense, and then we know the way this guy plays. Also in Bayern Munich, we saw that when he was not there, he was injured in Champions League. Bayern Munich could not convert the chances. As far as I remember, Bayern Munich had in the first leg against PSG, they had 31 chances, if I'm not wrong, and then only the ones, there were many missed chances, and Choupo-Moting was their striker. So if Robert Lewandowski was playing that game, I think so it was Bayern Munich's game easily. So that's how big of a player he is, and let's not talk about his abilities. We all know that what kind of player he is. I mean, he's strong everywhere, aerial wise, long range tap-ins. He's there everywhere. He's
got the lot. He's absolutely got the lot.
Yeah, he's a complete striker for me, and he's one of the best in world football that I've ever seen. Robert Lewandowski is immense, and look at the way he's been consistent over the years. Doesn't matter if it's Borussia Dortmund, doesn't matter if it's Bayern Munich, he's been consistent every single year. So that shows the caliber of this player, and maybe 50 million pounds is his market value at this point of time. That is fine, but then I'm not sure if Bayern Munich would accept that 50 million pound. You know what I mean? It might be that, listen, 50 million pound is his market price, and Chelsea might be bidding 50 million pounds. Hell, 15 million. If Chelsea signed this man for 50 million pounds, I mean, it would be a steal for them. I think so,
Yeah.
because I don't see Bayern Munich accepting a 50 million pound for the likes of Robert Lewandowski. He's way more than that, and Bayern Munich are gonna ask way more than 50 million pounds. That's what I know. Hell, 50 million pounds. Roman Abramovich might be eating dinners every night for that much money. I mean,
You know what I think
it's
about
nothing.
You know what I think about Robert Lewandowski, Ishan, is that
Yeah.
for a 32-year-old, I feel like
Yeah.
he's someone who's going to be able to play a lot longer. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like he's slowing down. It gives me that Ronaldo sort of vibe, like the
Yeah.
way he maintains his body, the physique.
True.
Like you
Yeah.
look at someone like Thiago Silva. Obviously, I know for a
Yeah.
defender you don't need to run around as much as
Yeah.
a striker.
Ibrahimovic, look at Ibrahimovic.
Ibrahimovic, exactly. That's another one. I think Lewandowski still has quite a few more years to go. Like I know a lot of people think that 32, that's really old. Give him the walking stick. He's a grandpa now. I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
he's actually got a lot more to give. I mean, the man just banged in 41 Bundesliga goals, man. This is not a joke.
True.
And then, Ishan, I'm looking at the injury status over here.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah.
really
That's
get
important.
injured much, man. He really doesn't get injured much. Look at this. From 2018, 14 days, 0 days, that was a rest. 1920, 26 days. 1920, Shinbone, 28 days. I mean, it's not like he's out for, so 2021 season, rest 2 days, and that stretched ligament, only 23 days. Like, he literally, as you can see, 6 games missed, 3 games missed, 1 game.
Yeah, six and 1-7, right? So basically, he's missed 7 games in the past season. And imagine if he was playing for the 7 games, he would have maybe scored 50 goals plus this last season.
Exactly.
That's Lewandowski for you.
He's not someone who's injury prone either, man. I mean, look,
Yeah.
let's get to the nitty gritty now. All right. And I want to hear what the live chat wants to say as well about this whole situation, because I'm going to give you guys a bit of update on Haaland, some of the stories that's been happening, right? Now, Haaland, apparently, Dortmund, as we've all known, they are not keen to sell him. They are adamant, we don't need to sell him. However, it has to be something astronomical. If a bid astronomical comes in, as they've always said, 175 million, they may consider. Right? Chelsea, apparently, what they're doing, let me bring this up. Apparently, what they're doing is they're going to try and get an intermediary, just like they did for Kai Havertz last summer. So let me just show you guys this. This is from PYS. He's very good at recently just collating all the news. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Let me just show you this to you guys. So PYS over here has tweeted out that Devin Odeston said Mark Gihey would help fund the striker bid, so that's what I better see. So that's one thing. We're apparently trying to sell all these players that we have been selling recently, is to build up that transfer market kitty, really build that up, and that will go towards a striker. And also, this is from Sky Germany saying Chelsea have not yet made an official offer for Haaland, but Chelsea are currently using third party to sound out Dortmund over a potential deal. So this is much like what we did with the Kai Havertz deal last season, where it was getting very difficult. We got a third party in, an intermediary, to help sort of negotiate, be the middleman. But seems like this is very complicated. It is very, very complicated. I don't know how complicated it's going to be in regards to Robert Lewandowski, because his contract is much closer. And if we are to entertain this, let's entertain this for a little bit, Isha. Robert Lewandowski's won everything in Bayern Munich, man.
Yeah.
He's won 9 Bundesliga, apparently. Several DFK Pokal Cup or whatever, the German Cup. He's won the Champions League as well. I mean, it doesn't sound too audacious if he was to leave and try something different, right?
Yeah, true. He's won the FIFA Men's Player of the Year award as well, UEFA Men's Player of the Year award as well, the last season. So he's basically won everything. I mean, my heart goes out to this man, that the year where he could have easily won the Ballon d'Or last year, he was, basically robbed, and Ballon d'Or was cancelled last year. So yeah, he's definitely won everything. In regards to Lewandowski coming to Chelsea, I think so. It all depends on Lewandowski, right? If he wants to come to Chelsea, then I think so he would be definitely coming to Chelsea, right? So there won't be much more stopping to Lewandowski. I mean, I also believe that Bayern Munich would be more than happy to keep this guy. It's not like they want to leave all the legends and just even if he gets older, then he would not.
Do you reckon he finishes his career there? That's what you're saying. Like he's one of those players that Bayern would finish the career there.
Yeah, just like Aaron Robben and Frank Ribery did. They extended their contract.
Even Muller now, right? Yeah. Muller's been around for a very long time.
Philipp Lahm, look at Philipp Lahm. I mean, there are legends there. So that's why Bayern Munich, they're known for that reputation to keep their legends. And Lewandowski is one hell of a legend for them. So from that perspective, also, it looks difficult to me, in order to just sell him, in the time where he's scoring goals. It's not that he's been declining. He's just broken Gerard Muller's record. It's a big thing to break that record. It's huge, and he's missed so many games.
Bro, tell me how many players have scored 40 plus goals in a league, like a top European league. Yeah. I can only think about Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Yeah, I can't really think about any other player that scored 40 plus goal in a top European league. Lewandowski, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, live chat. I honestly can't think of any other player that has scored 40 goals in recent times besides Messi and Ronaldo. This comment here from Declared is very interesting, and this is something that we want to touch right now. I mean, it's highly unlikely this happens, but you just never know. You just never know. Do you know what I mean? Because if Haaland doesn't happen, we do need to react a little bit. I know there's the whole Danny Ings conversation, which we can touch on, but Declared saying, Ms. Ishan, if we get Lewandowski, is that a bandage on Chelsea's behalf? Now, this is what I'm going to say, and I'll see what Ishan has to say as well. Lewandowski, if he is coming to Chelsea, for argument's sake, we are still going to be title contenders. I think we're going to be title contenders because this guy is apparently also in the radar of Man City because Man City can't seem to get Kane. They're thinking about Lewandowski as well. So they're monitoring this situation. Lewandowski, at the age of 32, is one of the most supreme strikers out there. There is no doubt about that. Ishan has been saying he can score any kind of goals, long range, inside the box, headers, audacious sort of situations, anything. And he's very good with his movement, very good with the link up. He can drop deep. He can do the lot. He can set up goals as well. So him coming in will only make Havertz, Ziyech, Mount, Hudson-Odoi, Werner, everyone better. There is no doubt about that. I'm not too concerned about the age at the moment because I feel like he's one of those players that can play for a very long time. Chelsea, however, is, as per the in the nose, are saying that Chelsea are aware of the age, and that seems to be the stumbling block in this whole situation here, right? But to come back to what Declared is saying, it would have to, for me, it would somewhat have to be a bandage, wouldn't it? Because at 32, you would eventually need another long-term striker. I mean, what sort of contract would you give? I'm thinking you'd probably give maximum 3 years. And even that would be, you're really gambling because you don't know exactly. I know his injury statuses look good, but as you get older, you tend to get injured a lot more, perhaps, unless you're like a freak like Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, right? That's to be seen. So for me, a Lewandowski, you would still need to get someone for the future down the track. Now, how many players are available besides Haaland for that? I don't know. Maybe new ones will pop up. Who knows? New sensations could pop up. I don't know. But Ishan, what's your thoughts, my man?
Yeah, I think so. Declared, asked a proper question. Call it a bandage or call it a quick fix that we like to say regards to the centre back that we had signing with the likes of Thiago Silva. It was particularly a quick fix, right? We knew that he's not going to come in Chelsea and play for years, 3, 4 years, 5 years. We knew it was a 1 season or 2 season signing for Thiago Silva. And I think so, even for Robert Lewandowski, very correctly said by you, Miz, that I don't see Chelsea giving him a 4-year contract or a 5-year contract. I don't think so. There's any chance. 3 years max to max. Yes,
Yeah.
and if that's the case, Chelsea, we know that with regards to the age, they're very much reluctant to bring in new signings. Yes, there was a Thiago Silva signing, and that was a quick fix, and that was Frank Lampard initiation, and he forced that transfer. He wanted that. So basically, you also need the coach manager's perception regarding that. But then I believe that if Lewandowski comes, it'll be a quick fix. We know the fact that Armando Broja just signed a long-term contract with Chelsea, 5 years, 6 years. So basically, knowing the fact that if Oliver Giroud has already left, if Tammy Abraham also leaves Chelsea, that gives a huge boost to Armando Broja to get some gaming time, at least for the next season. If Lewandowski comes in, Lewandowski will be an out-and-out striker. He'll play for the majority of the season, and then you can have an Armando Broja to come and substitute him for the majority of the games or be a rotational player. Also, we have the likes of Kai Havertz who can play in between, play the false nine role. So I think so. There's huge scope in that. If Tammy Abraham leaves, it makes total sense that we've signed Armando Broja for a long-term contract. And then now I can foresee this. This makes a little bit of sense that we're, trying to target Lewandowski, in order to bring a quick fix in maybe for a couple of seasons or 3 seasons and let Broja learn under him and develop under him. And then, he can flourish in the years to come. So it does make sense. But again, the complications from my end is again the exact point that you said is the age factor. Not for us. It might not be a factor for us. It might not be a factor for Bayern Munich because he's slapping in goals left, right, and center, regardless the age. But the thing is with the Chelsea Football Club, I don't know how much would they envy this age. Because we all know Premier League is the most intensified Premier League in the football league in the world, and Chelsea might think that whatever the thing is, he's still 32 years old, going to become 33. So that might be difficult for me to have a say that they would have a long-term contract for Lewandowski. Age is definitely the factor which brings up the complications, and the other factor that we've already discussed is, would Lewandowski actually want to leave Bayern and Germany? If yes, then there's a chance. If no, then it's again complicated situation.
100%, man. All of these top strikers are very complicated. Phantom of many topics. Thank you so much for the super chat. Nigelsmann wants Werner? ? Give Werner plus cash. Here's the thing. I don't think this will happen. I mean, the whole thing, I don't think will happen. The whole Lewandowski thing, but as I was saying, some of the in the nose, Chelsea in the nose, when they've reported that this is actually a legitimate alternative option, they've actually said that Werner could be a player that could go the other way because of Nagelsmann's interest. I personally don't think it can happen because Werner, he's just won the Champions League with us. I know it was a very difficult first season, and I know the fans are going to come back, and if he keeps missing the way he has last season, the fans are going to give it to him. But I don't think this will happen, and I think he will stick around. I want to read out this comment from Jules, which is very interesting. Lewandowski can give us a good 2 years so we can target another striker, and Broja can learn from him. Drogba played till he was 34. What's the guarantee Haaland will remain after 2 years? People, I need you to deep this comment because this comment is very real and it's got a lot of substance to it. We may think from the top of our head that, he's 32. What's he get? He's still one of the most glamorous strikers, as I said, at 32. He's not some sort of a grandpa, as I said, with a walking stick. He is legitimately a supreme striker. And if we can't land Haaland, for argument's sake, which honestly, it looks very difficult. We may, I don't know. And here's the thing, I really want to talk about the whole Haaland thing. The other thing I want to talk about, I read recently, Tammy Abraham's departure is very important. Chelsea needs to get rid of Tammy Abraham first. Yes, they are negotiating simultaneously everywhere. But if they can't find a home for Tammy Abraham, then the whole thing kind of doesn't make sense because Haaland comes in and Tammy is number 3 selection.
Yeah.
And then you're still going to be paying the salary. Chelsea just doesn't want to be throwing money and wasting money anymore. They want to be smart. They want to be very smart with their financials now. So it's very important that Chelsea is able to let go of Tammy.
Yeah. Also, Tammy's contract would be expiring soon, so they would want some amount from that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that they want Tammy to be gone first and then they're going to negotiate. No, it all happens simultaneously, all the negotiation. But they want to be able to be sort of at a level where they know, okay, Tammy is moving to X club. We're going to get X amount of money. We already have the contract sort of negotiations happening with Haaland. But if Tammy is not able to go either Arsenal, West Ham, Aston Villa, wherever else, this is what I'm hearing recent times, that it's very important that they let go of Tammy as well. Besides that, we may just end up seeing Tammy one more season, which is not fair because it seems like he's not in Tuchel's plans, but you just never know. You never know. Things can change. Managers can change their mentality of a particular player. This was last season, maybe this season, who knows? Ishan, just to wrap things up on this particular matter before we go to the next player, I mean, what's your instinct saying about the whole Lewandowski? I mean, are you still thinking Haaland is definitely happening? You know, the whole Tammy situation and all of the alternatives.
No, Haaland is definitely number one priority, right? We know right from the beginning that he has been, and there are multiple sources that say that, you know, Haaland has been the top priority right from the beginning of this transfer season. So I think so that'll remain on the table until every cards unfold, right? Until and unless, you know, there are no doors open at all. I think so we'll still be finding ways to sign Haaland and you know, try to negotiate and simplify the complications and try to take the negotiations further. But yes, the things are complicated and it's complicated big time, and that's why we're connected to all the alternatives that we see with the likes of Lukaku and now Lewandowski. We've seen the links with Harry Kane as well initially. So yeah, there are links as well. And
bro, there's even a new player that Athletic has just said this morning, that Austrian striker. Hold on, let me just bring up this tweet. I've never even heard of this, Ishan, but I just read the article. I mean, it's an outside chance. It's not a huge chance, but if even another name, as you said, you know, there's all these alternatives that are popping up. Let me just share this with you guys. I'm not sure if you guys would have seen this. So this guy, Ishan. So Sasa Kalajic. I've got no idea. Do you know who this guy is?
I've heard this name for the first time. I don't know at all. I would rather prefer
Plays for Stuttgart. Plays for Stuttgart.
I don't know.
Apparently has 17 German Bundesliga goals in the league over there, and apparently plays for Austria as well. So yeah, the alternatives. Look, Chelsea are interested in Stuttgart striker Sasa Kalajic as a cheap alternative to Erling Haaland. I mean, these are the news that's getting thrown around, man.
I'm not sure how if Thomas Tuchel would prefer this guy over Tammy Abraham. I think I would still prefer Tammy over this guy. Keep Tammy. If you're gonna buy this B grade, C grade signings, just keep Tammy and let him play, let him learn. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, there are many alternatives. Hell, call Sunil Chhetri, man. I'm tired of these alternatives. He's a proven international striker. Yeah. Now the thing is with Lewandowski, I know it would be a definitely steal if we, you know, buy him for a £50 million. Even now, you know, let people count his age and all. I definitely know the fact that he costs definitely more than £50 million. £50 million is nothing. Bayern Munich would never ever accept £50 million unless Lewandowski actually wants to leave. And even that's highly unlikely that Lewandowski would want to leave. He really likes Germany. He really likes Bayern Munich. The club loves Lewandowski. It's very difficult. It all depends on Lewandowski if he wants to leave, and if he does come to Chelsea, and if that signing happens for a £50 million absolute steal. But to me, if you ask me a one-word answer, is Lewandowski a possibility? Yes, but I think so. It's still highly unlikely.
Yeah, man. I definitely think it's highly unlikely as well. then again, mad things have happened. Roby's comment here, I would just keep Tammy then buying this other long, lanky striker. Yeah, man. I mean, at this point, I feel kind of sad for Tammy, to be honest. I mean, once again, I know it's preseason. I know it's Peterborough, but he scored a goal again in the preseason. So I just can't imagine how Tammy wouldn't take, Thomas Tuchel's instructions and try to get better, try to develop and understand exactly what Thomas Tuchel wants. If we can't have our top strikers, let's not get this Kalasic and whoever else that we've not even heard of. Let's give Tammy an opportunity, see what he is able to do. I mean, surely he can't do any worse. Arnie is saying, Miz and Ishan, are you Indians? I'm not Indian. Ishan is. I'm from a Bangladeshi background, but I've pretty much grew up in Australia. So, I mean, Bangladesh, India. I mean, we're from the subcontinent, if you needed to know. Okay, let's talk about the second particular rumor, which is another ridiculous rumor. But I want to talk about... Do you remember when Jan Age Foytoft said to Simon Phillips, we'll see about the Callum Hudson-Odoi?
We'll see, yeah.
I mean, Simon Phillips and Dan McCarthy and many other journalists, they've been quite sort of strong about the whole thing that Callum is not going anywhere. And we've reported, like we've said that in this particular channel as well, we've been excited about it. But for some reason from Germany, this particular rumor of Callum leaving or Callum being in a cash plus player deal and all that, whether it be Dortmund, apparently the Dortmund one is not true. Yeah. But now the Bayern Munich one with Kingsley Coman, out of nowhere, I don't understand this one bit. I mean, I want to just quickly bring up the stats for Kingsley Coman, right?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. So Kingsley Coman, his contract expires in 2023, so he's got a couple of more years left. But once again, it's probably the right time for Bayern Munich to start thinking if they want to let him go. 5 goals in the Bundesliga with 12 assists, 29 matches played, 7 goals in the Champions League, 3 goals, 3 assists. But look at his injury status, man. I mean, 5 days, 16 days, 3 days, 10 days, 9 days. That's all in season 2021. So, if you look at the season before that, 15 days, 3 days, 58 days, didn't even play in 2019-20. So he's got history of a lot of injury, Ishan.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why is Jan Age Foytoft, is he onto something? Why is Callum Hudson-Odoi's name always seems to pop up with any of these German clubs? If there's a player that we maybe remotely be involved with, always, here's Callum, take Callum. And give. Why is this, bro?
It seems like Jan Age Foytoft wants to become the manager of Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's trying too much, man. It's insane. But yes, we cannot deny the fact that Bayern Munich have been very, very much impressed with Callum Hudson-Odoi, and they've been very much keen to sign this guy. It's been many seasons now. The thing were put into breaks when Callum Hudson-Odoi had signed a new contract with Chelsea, and that thing particularly paused for a moment. Now I'm not sure if that's a true story, that the links are true, and then there is a swap deal between Coman and Hudson-Odoi. Why would Chelsea sell a young and fit winger and bring up a more injury prone winger to a new club, to a new country, and to wait him for
I do want to ask you one thing, though. Ishan.
Yeah.
In terms of quality at the moment, I have to say Kingsley Coman is ahead. He's definitely ahead of Callum. I'm not saying it in a disrespectful manner. I'm saying in terms of quality, Kingsley Coman is ahead. But it's that injury sort of situation, which is the crazy part. Because Coman's young as well, man. He's only 25, I think. I'm pretty sure he's only 25. Let me just quickly have a look at this. Yeah, he's 25. So, and he turned 25. He actually just turned 25. So, yeah, I mean, the injury is the biggest issue here.
Yeah, it is. But also, just look at we've talked about this so many times in our shows that look at the options that we have in our wingers. I mean, what would Kingsley Coman do coming up here and fight for his place, against the likes of Pulisic, Ziyech, and Havertz, possibly Mount as well, also Werner if we sign a striker. So there are lots in the line. I mean, I'm not sure if Kingsley Coman would want to come here and fight for his place day in day out. Also regarding his injury, that's a big point. But then if Kingsley Coman, is he's out and out starting for Bayern Munich, for probably every game, and he's one of the important players as well. And coming up to Chelsea, there are many players in line in terms of wingers. I'm not sure how he would be fitted into the playing 11. If he does, then out of Pulisic, Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, one has to sit, right? We know that. We know the compromise word and a sacrifice is coming, right? We know that. And if we add Kingsley Coman, we already know that Hudson-Odoi is not getting much gaming time, and we've already arguing about if Hudson-Odoi would be getting some gaming time in the next season also. Even if we go to switch to a back four and have an extra attacker on the pitch, still we do not assure Hudson-Odoi a place. So that's how much stuffed it is. And all these wingers are high-class wingers. Yes, they possess extreme good qualities in the pitch, and then every quality is unique. Kingsley Coman coming in and Hudson-Odoi going out, I don't think so that makes any sense in terms of the playing 11, because again, he would have to sit on the bench. Also, the point that I just mentioned, that Hudson-Odoi is a proven Premier League winger, but then Kingsley Coman, he's never been in the Premier League, so we do not know how much time he would take to come and adjust.
Plus the price as well, Ishan. Bayern not only wants Callum, Bayern always wanted Callum. They've always wanted Callum Hudson-Odoi. They're in love with Callum Hudson-Odoi. And I'm pretty sure one day in the future, they'll probably get Callum Hudson-Odoi as well.
Yeah.
But it's Callum plus 90 million euros. Are they joking? Are they having a laugh? I mean, that's almost like, that's more than Harry Kane's price. Like 90 million plus Callum. I mean, how much would Callum be in this market? Callum would have to be at least, I would say, 35 to 40. I mean, Bayern Munich went for 40 million for Callum 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
He would have to be at least 40 million in this market.
They were, I think so, they were trying to bid 60 million pounds for Callum Hudson-Odoi just at the time when he was signing a new contract for Chelsea. A 60 million pound bid was coming his way, but then he signed a new contract, so the negotiation was on halt. But yes, Hudson-Odoi, at least minimum 40, even I think so, 35 to 40 is minimum. 90 million pounds for 90 million plus Hudson-Odoi.
90 million euros, probably about 80 million pounds. Still a lot.
Yeah, true. Still, and it's a lot. I mean, it doesn't make sense, miss. It doesn't. We first of all, we do not need a winger, an extra winger to add up and then bring up more dilemma on the pitch, that who would we play, who would we rest. It adds up to the dilemma and does nothing else. We already have the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's particularly fighting for his place, and again Kingsley Coman coming up, and then he's again in the same scenario that what Hudson-Odoi was. At least Hudson-Odoi has the spirit to fight in. We never know if Kingsley Coman would have the spirit to fight for his place, because we already have so many options that we can easily rest him and play for the whole season. It actually does not make sense. I would rather keep Hudson-Odoi and not just throw away 90 million pounds and sign in a Coman who's more injury prone, who again comes up here in a new country, in a new league, has to adjust himself. We never know if it's going to click or not.
More brutal league,
and he has to again fight for his place. So to me, it doesn't make sense. I would rather keep Hudson-Odoi.
Phantom of many topics. I love you, my man. You put on some really, really good comments out there. Makes you think. I mean, whether it happens or not, that's a different story. Phantom of many topics. Once again, thanks for the super chat saying Cho plus cash for Robert Lewandowski. I mean, that is an upgrade. I won't lie, but Callum is not going. That's the thing. The whole thing about Chelsea's front is that he's not leaving. But if I think about it from a logical standpoint, yes, Callum has a high ceiling. Yes, he's young, but Callum still hasn't shown me yet. This is the season. I believe he has to, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to say he's young, he's this and that. Yeah, but I need to see progress. But this, I may be okay to entertain that if that means that we get a. Because at the moment we are stacked in the wingers area. We need a striker. So if we can give Callum plus some cash, probably not that much. Maybe, I don't know, Callum, as I said, is probably worth at least 40 million. So 40 million plus 10 million to cover the 50 million. Get Robert Lewandowski. We still have Pulisic. We still have Mason Mount. We still have Havertz, Werner, Ziyech. I think I would take that. I would consider that. Live chat, well, let me know what your thoughts. This is not a bad super chat, by the way. Live chat, let me know what your thoughts are. This is quite interesting. Ishan, what do you think about this?
This actually makes sense. I was trying to say that. Add up a Lewandowski and make it a swap deal between Hudson-Odoi plus cash and then take Lewandowski from there. It does actually make sense, but then I don't think so if Bayern Munich could envy that, and just like you said, in today's modern world, it's difficult to pull out that player plus player deal, player swap deal and a player plus cash deal, and also for the likes of Robert Lewandowski, he's too big of a player to have that, player swap deal. I don't see that happening.
Bayern they do fancy Cho though. They fancy Cho.
Yeah, they actually do. This might actually be very tempting for Bayern Munich. And this might actually transpire. So it is a possibility, but then again, it comes down. Robert Lewandowski is a very big character in Bayern Munich. He's a big personality there. And it all comes down to him. If he wants to come to England, if he wants to leave Bayern Munich, then there's a chance. There's a big chance, in fact. But it would be very difficult for me to understand the fact that he wants to leave Bayern at this stage where he's just broken Gerard Muller's record. He can probably, retire in Bayern Munich as a legend, have another shot at Champions League for the next season probably. So for me, it's highly unlikely again. But then, yes, Hudson-Odoi swap deal would be very, very tempting for Bayern Munich. And if Chelsea does initiate that, oh my God, that might be happening.
I love this comment, Andrew Joel. I would take a Tammy Lewandowski swap. I think we all would. But that's such a dirty sort of situation for Bayern Munich, man. Come on, they're not going to go from Lewandowski to Tammy. And no disrespect to Tammy Abraham, but there is no way Tammy Abraham is leading for Bayern Munich. If Bayern somehow loses their minds and loses their marbles and ends up doing this, I'm all for it. I'm ready for this. I am ready for this. Okay, let's talk about the next one, which is straight from the Athletic, ladies and gentlemen, today. By the way, we've got over 170 people live right now. Please smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to 100 straight away, guys. Helps the channel out a lot. You guys have been amazing lately with the likes and subscriptions and whatnot. We are so close to 6,000 subscribers, literally 200 away. So take the moment, all of you guys, if you've been enjoying this conversation, you guys have been part of it as well. Smash that like button, get those likes up to at least 100. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe and check out Ishan's socials in the description. All right, Ishan. Next one is a very interesting one. Declan Rice and Aurelien Tchouameni. The Athletic is saying, this is an article that just literally came out about 4 hours ago, that Declan Rice is guaranteed Chelsea's number one midfield selection.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I can argue all day long. You can argue all day long. Live chat can argue all day long. It is what it is. A lot of people fancy it, which is fine. However, they're saying that it's like that Haaland situation. It's very much the Haaland situation where all the power is on the club. Yeah. He has 4 years to go with West Ham. Yeah. West Ham apparently are saying, if you want this player, you are going to have to break the bank. You are going to have to give us something ridiculous. And the Athletic article has said £100 million minimum. Minimum. We were thinking about 80. Forget the 80. They are saying 100.
Well,
100 million, and you can maybe get your man. Maybe
Yeah.
get your man.
Maybe.
All right. 100 million.
Yeah.
So Chelsea once again are sort of fearing this whole thing that this is way beyond our scenario. Do you know what I mean? Haaland 175 million euros, Declan Rice 100 million pounds. I mean, what do these clubs think we are? Like just made out of money or something? Just throwing money to everyone? No, we're not going to bend over backwards for all of these things. So I know in recent times Declan Rice hasn't signed a contract extension and whatnot. He wants more money. Who knows? Maybe West Ham could come back with more money for him for his salary.
Yeah.
And Declan Rice recently has said, apparently, that he thinks his market value is about 60 million. And he's saying that if you do get anything around that region, consider it.
Yeah.
But he can't dictate what West Ham wants. West Ham wants to make if Dortmund can get 175 million for a particular player, which is a superstar of a player, West Ham has every right on the player that they think is a superstar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've slapped 100 million on him. But apparently Chelsea, they're a bit sort of peeved off by that. And they're really focusing now on Tchouameni. This is a serious consideration now because he's going to be a lot cheaper. He's going to be around 40 million pounds approximately. And in all honesty, Cesc Fabregas has given him the green light. Cesc Fabregas has said he can play anywhere in midfield. He was one of the most important players for Monaco last season, one of the driving forces to get them to Champions League positions. Very good on the ball, vision, tackling-wise, very good as well. Can play as a sitter. As Cesc Fabregas said, he can do pretty much everything. I mean, Ishan, firstly, talk to me about the whole Declan Rice thing. I mean, is that mad, 100 million?
I believe West Ham are, being complete opportunist at this point of time. They're pretty much aware that it is Chelsea who's most likely trying to sign Declan Rice. And, Declan Rice is a Chelsea Academy product. He's Mason Mount's best friend. There are many links for West Ham to join Chelsea. And Frank Lampard has proposed multiple times in regards to this, right? The previous season as well, that Declan Rice should be coming to Chelsea. He was forcing Chelsea to make this move, but it did not work out eventually. So West Ham knows that very much well. Yes, the thing you said is absolutely true, that they are kind of the superstar guy, right? Number one player for them. He brings out the most attention out of everybody for West Ham, right? And he brings out he's very young and he brings out a lot on the pitch as well, and also he grabs a lot of attention among all the West Ham players. So West Ham are totally being opportunistic at this point of time, and very rightly so. I think so they should be. And from their perspective, from West Ham sides of coin, I think so they are rightly enough to be opportunists at this point of time and bring out the maximum amount of money out of Declan Rice. To be honest, miss, I don't think so. If Chelsea wasn't included in this deal, let's say a Bayern Munich or a Madrid or a PSG would have been included in this deal, I don't think so they would have proposed 100 million pounds.
So true. You're right. They see that, Mason Mount is great friends with him. Now they're hearing Thomas Tuchel wants him. They also know Frank Lampard wanted him.
True.
They've jacked up the price as much as they can. You want him? Come and get him, 100 million.
Yeah, and even now, after Thomas Tuchel arrived, there definitely must be some talks inside, right? That Declan Rice was the links, he's good, he's this, he's that. The thing with Thomas Tuchel is he really envies the double pivot position. And Declan Rice is one of a player he would have loved to have in a double pivot position. We know that wherever he played, Thomas Tuchel, he had that double pivot in his game. And it is one of the most important positions in his gameplay, apart from the wing backs or the right wing, left wing position. So double pivot is something which he really puts in his top priority list. And there are definitely links with the likes of Tchouameni, Camavinga, and particularly Declan Rice. So Declan Rice would definitely be tempting for Thomas Tuchel as well. And somewhere down the line, West Ham, being the opportunist club, they're not willing to lower down the price by 100 million pounds by any means. And this again becomes a situation similar to Erling Haaland, where Dortmund are not willing to hear anything less than 150 million pounds. Even West Ham are not willing to listen to anything less than 100 million pounds. You know, I'm not sure if Declan Rice. Declan Rice definitely would want to join Chelsea, right? He's a Chelsea academy product. He's the best friend of the guy who's one of the best players in Chelsea now. Here, he would definitely be the most happiest guy to join Chelsea back. But the thing is, would he be able to force his club, the likes of West Ham, to lower down the price? I don't think so. They would do that. I don't think so. So 100 million pounds is the bar, and I think so Chelsea have to break that. So even if they do, just like you said, even if they do, there'll be a possibility that they decline it because maybe they have a long-term plan with West Ham. Maybe Declan Rice might be seen as the long runner in West Ham. So you never know, right? So I think so. Even this deal is complicated, and also, just like you said, a lot of money in this deal too, right? 100 million pound for a holding midfielder. It's way too much.
I mean, when you look at the options out there, Ishan. By the way, live chat, I've just put out a poll out there. There's over 150 of you guys there. I want to see what you guys think. I've just put out a poll. What's the fair price for Declan Rice? 30 to 50 million, 50 to 70 million, 70 to 70 million plus. I want to see how much you guys are willing to pay. I mean, even 70 million. I mean, that's a lot of money for a holding DM. Probably 50 million is 60.
Just imagine.
It's still so much, man.
At one point of time, Gareth Bale was the record-breaking signee of football world with 100 million euros, right? In when he went to Real Madrid from Tottenham Hotspur, and now look at where we are. We were giving for a holding midfielder 100 million pounds. So, I mean,
it's insane, man. It's insane. How much? I know times are different now. I know we got Kante a long time ago. I think we got Kante 2014. I think it was Conte's first season, right? We got Kante?
Yeah.
2014-15, I think. That could be the season, yeah. I know that was a long time ago. Kante was what? 35 million or 30 million, something like that, 33 million pounds. As I said, I know that was a long time ago, but I just find it so strange to pay someone like, Declan Rice so much money. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, a holding midfielder, anything more than 40, 45 million, you better be like a Pogba style of a holding midfielder. You better be able to have everything in your game, the vision, the defending. Even Pogba probably doesn't defend as well as some other players. Maybe he's not an out-and-out holding sort of midfielder, but he has played that position. There you go. Subra Jyoti is saying 33 million. 2016, 2016. That's it. Yeah, Conte 2016. But yeah, man, Ishan, there's literally so many options out there. We've been linked with Boubacar Kamara, Kamavinga. There's talks about that. Obviously, Tchouameni. I mean, does it make sense at all? I know Chelsea's number one selection is Rice, but does it make sense at all? What would be the fair price for you, Ishan, for Declan Rice that you'd be happy to purchase him for? Considering all the skill set he brings, considering what he can do for the team. And also the biggest question mark for me is Chelsea's going to be holding the ball generally 60 to 70% of the possession almost every game. Is Declan Rice going to be able to play as the deepest midfielder, show for the ball, and play the passing game, one-touch play, link up the play, build up from the back, drive forward as well, help in the forward pack? I mean, what's your thoughts, Ishan?
For me, I think so. Anywhere around 55 to 65 is enough for me. I think so. That would be my bar. Let's say 70 million tops. I won't go a single pound above 70. That's my bar regarding to Declan Rice. And I think so. This guy has qualities which the other players that we are linked with has the same, right? With the likes of Kamavinga, Tchouameni, those guys can also be very much productive and even in the holding midfield position. Just like Cesc Fabregas has said, Tchouameni can do anything and everything. He can play in each and every midfield position, and that's a good quality to have. We would want that kind of a player who would be very much versatile in the midfield as well. So I think so. Tchouameni would make much more sense than rather Declan
Ishan,
Rice.
even Trevor Chalobah in
Chalobah, yeah,
League last season for I think Lorient. Trevor Chalobah is touted as a very big star in French Ligue 1. Like there are
yeah,
actually teams that are looking to buy him because he had a very good season. We don't talk about him. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like he looks like a built guy.
yeah. True. There are many options. Yeah, miss. I think so. We're just sticking to Declan Rice. I'm not sure how much are the alternative links very much heavy at this point of time. But if I was in Chelsea Football Club, I would have definitely pushed for a Tchouameni deal more rather than a Declan Rice, because if West Ham out of nowhere agree to reduce the transfer fee, then it's fine. Go ahead and sign Declan Rice. No worries in that. But then £100 million for a holding midfielder, and especially Declan Rice. I mean, those qualities I can inherit from the other players as well, with the likes of Tchouameni, Kamavinga, and Kamara, and all those guys. So why not just look at them? They would be much more cheaper. And I know, money is not financials has never been a problem since Roman Abramovich took over the club, right? He can basically afford anybody. But then we're a business mindset club, and everything does not matter on money. Money is not the biggest thing. It might be a drive force for our club since Roman Abramovich took over, but then there are brains involved before money, right? So you need to think a lot, before having that big signing. And I am 100% sure Chelsea are not going to sign 100 million Declan Rice. That is for sure. I mean, I don't think so. Whatever the links are, whatever the rumors are, keep it aside. I'm not going to accept that Chelsea is signing their most expensive signee in history of the club, and that too in the form of Declan Rice, who was already the academy player, and that too for 100 million
for a
holding midfield position, and that too for £100 million from another rival London club. That is absolutely not happening. No ways in hell that is happening. Just imagine Chelsea breaking the banks, Chelsea's record signing their own Chelsea academy guy. I mean, no ways that's happening. If West Ham comes up and reduces the price, that there might be a possibility. But then I don't think so that's happening.
Look, I'll definitely touch on this super chat from Declared. But before that, thank you heaps once again, Declared, for the super chat. Thank you to everyone that's always providing super chat. You guys are amazing, always supporting the channel. But before I talk about this super chat, I want to just say a couple of things. And I want to know what you guys think, live chat, about this. We've got 170 people. Let's get the likes up to at least 100. I'm going to ask you guys a question. So let's get the likes up to at least 100 straight away. If you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. As I said, Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel play a particular style which is wholly possession-based. Tuchel doesn't want to play counter-attack. Tuchel doesn't want to sit back and play on the counter-attack. He wants to hold the ball, and he wants to defend with the ball as well. Do you know what I mean? Holding the ball is managing the game, and he doesn't want to allow the opposition to have the ball too much. So when you think about it that way, ask yourself the question, have a look at how Declan Rice played for England as well. England generally played as a counter-attacking team, sat back. It was perfect sort of game plan for Declan Rice. For West Ham as well, I'm not really sure what their possession stats are, but I don't think West Ham holds the ball 60 to 70% of the time every game. I think West Ham, from the matches I've seen, they're very much a counter-attacking team. This is not to say that Declan Rice can't play with the ball. He can. But I'm saying he needs to touch the ball a lot more. I don't know what the stats are for Jorginho, but Jorginho, there were some ridiculous stats that he touches 80 to 100 sort of passes almost every game, something like that. I could be wrong, but it's a lot of times that he touches the ball. Is Declan Rice capable of doing that? And not from what I saw with England, I saw Declan Rice stalling. He stops and he looks up, he looks for his... At Chelsea, you get the ball, you got to move. You got to move that. You got to move the ball around, whether it's side to side, forward, inside, whatever it is, you have to move it around. So ask yourself the question, is Declan Rice ready enough to show himself often for the ball? It's not going to be like England where he gets the ball, he pumps it up and he lobs it to whoever and that's it. His job is done and then the rest is defend. It ain't going to be like that for Chelsea. At Chelsea,
Yeah.
he will defend maybe against the low blocks, probably 2 to 3 big counter-attacking opportunities. 2 to 3 big counter-attacking opportunities probably every game.
Yeah.
After that, it's all with the ball. It's all with the ball. Unless he comes up against a big opposition like a Man City or in the Champions League like a Bayern Munich, then you're not going to see that much of the ball, and you need to probably have like a Declan Rice to ensure you break things up. So that's one thing, right? The other thing, you're going to pay X amount of money, let's say 70 million. 70 million, he's not going to be in the bench, man.
Exactly.
We've already got Kante, we've already got Jorginho, we've already got Kovacic. Unless you're thinking Kovacic, who's also part of a European champions team now, who's also been very good. I know right at the end of last season he didn't look good, but there were moments where he looked very good. Are you going to have Declan Rice in the bench for 70 million? No way.
No
Then
ways.
you can probably say, oh, nah, there's going to be rotation, Miz. Sure, there will be rotation, but you're going to have a 70 million pounds player as a rotational player. Do you know what I mean? Like it sounds insane. So, live chat, let me know what you're thinking about the whole. I wonder what happened to Ishan. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Live chat. It's does this make sense? The whole Declan Rice thing. As I said, the build up, showing up for the ball a lot more. Can he develop? He probably can. He probably can develop, but it will take time. That's what I'm saying. Is that wise enough investment of 60 to 70 million to wait for a player like Declan Rice to eventually develop into the player that we think that we need for our system at the moment? It's just things that we need to think about. I just want to quickly read this out. Thanks for coming back, Ishan, my man. Miz, I think Tchouameni possesses the characteristics of every midfielder we have at the club, but I think we could be preparing for Gilmore. Yeah, and this is the other thing as well, Ishan. I talked about the paying that much money for someone who needs to probably start, and also the build up, showing up. The other thing is, Ishan, what about Gilmore? We better have a plan for Gilmore. We just sent him for a loan. If he has a very good loan, which I hope he does, he's going to come back next season demanding for minutes.
Yeah.
Just like Mark Gehi. Mark Gehi demanded minutes.
Yeah.
He didn't want to stick around. It wasn't the club's fault.
True.
Mark Gehi thought he was good enough, so he left. True. If Billy Gilmore comes back and he sees Declan Rice, Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic still has 3 years left in his contract. True. Jorginho and Kante only has 2 years, so they could probably get a contract extension, and there's been talks about that. If Billy Gilmore comes back and there's already 4 of these players, even if Kovacic leaves, you think Billy Gilmore is going to be the 4th choice midfielder? Billy's going to say, "I've just had a very good season at Norwich. Mate, I've got no time for this. I want to play full time somewhere else." We need to be very careful about these sort of things, who we get. Do you know what I mean? So, Ishan, what's your thoughts about these sort of things?
No, 100%. I was going to say the exact thing, that if there is an influx of players, if you're buying players, that's fine. We need an upgradation, right? And at this point of time, where we know that the fact that Billy Gilmore will play for Norwich for the whole season on loan, we have just 3 players playing for two spots, right? So basically, if any one of the 3 players are injured, we become in a vulnerable position that we have to play 2 players regularly, continuously, and there's a risk of burning out those players. So we definitely do need an upgradation, and we do need a signing. But then there should be a plan for Billy Gilmore, in the sense that with a heavy heart, a player has to leave. Miss, come on, we cannot fit so many players. We cannot fit so many players. And if doesn't matter if we sign a Tchouameni or a Declan Rice. Let's say, for instance, we are signing Declan Rice for 70, 80, 90, 100 million pounds, whatever it is, doesn't matter. We're talking about the playing 11 now. Let's say we are signing Declan Rice. So we basically have Declan Rice, Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic. These guys will be rotating in all of the games and all of the competitions. Fair enough. But then what happens the next season? We know the fact that Kante will get his contract signed. Fair enough, he should be. He's one of the best midfielders in world football today.
I mean, there's
Fair
talks
enough for
already
Kante.
happening. There's already talks
Yeah,
happening.
there's
for both
talks already
Jorginho and
happening.
Kante.
Jorginho is in the purple patch of his life. We cannot let go this guy at this point of time.
No
so he's
way.
very important for us. Same goes with Kovacic. He's been very important for us. He's played very, very good games. Yes, he's been injured in a couple of games in the last season. But then, just like Messi said, he's got 3 years in his contract. So basically, there has to be an outing there. There has to be an outing. And if you say for the next season, there's an influx of Billy Gilmore again, and he'll definitely be searching for some gaming time. He cannot be bench warming again. Yes, I understand that we cannot fit everybody in that double pivot position. There's only 2 places, but then Billy Gilmore has to have a go on at least the low intensified games. The games in the Carabao Cup, he has to get the 90 minutes. The games in the initial games in FA Cup, he has to get.
But even then, Ishan, I don't think he'll be happy. He won't be happy.
He won't be happy.
He's gone to Norwich and he's probably going to play most games there.
Yeah, he wouldn't be happy. But then the thing is, he's very young, first of all. He would want to play many games. That's understandable. But then that comes to Billy Gilmore. If he'd want to stay in this club, he does envy this club a lot. And he accepts the fact that, okay, listen, I'm young and I would want to play in the bench and be a rotation guy, be a substitute for a couple of years more.
Stays patient.
He stays patient. It'll be perfect for us, even for us and even for him, if he want to play for Chelsea. And if he doesn't, if he feels that he needs more gaming time and continuous more gaming time, he has to leave, then he will eventually leave. Looking at the, so many midfielders fighting for 2 positions. So the thing is, okay, if we sign a Declan Rice or a Tchouameni this season, and we need to because we just have 3 players fighting for 2 positions. But then in the next season, when Billy Gilmore joins in, there has to be an outing, either of a Jorginho or a Kante or a Kovacic. Let the club decide, but there has to be an outing, or else there will be havoc in the midfield. So many players fighting for 2 positions or max to max 3 positions. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, there has to be an outing. Now, it's up to Chelsea to decide if they want to let Kovacic go or a Jorginho go, or there's another option. If they do not want Jorginho to sign another contract, maybe play for this season, which is the last season, and then bring in a Billy Gilmore for the next season. That would also make sense, but I don't think so. If Chelsea would envy or should let Jorginho go, because we know he's been in a purple patch of a form, and he's played like the best player in the world in the midfield for the past few months, even in the Euro. So I think so. For me, there has to be an outing. It's up to the club if you want a Kovacic go or a Jorginho go. But the thing is, if we sign a new midfielder, be it Declan Rice or Tchouameni, and Billy Gilmore adds up to the next season, Gilmore would not play if he sees so many midfielders fighting for the 2 positions. So spot on.
I mean, these players are ambitious, man. These players don't have like a long career, maximum probably 10 years to make a living for the rest of their lives, literally. And that's if you are a very successful player. You can probably have about 10 years of solid earning money. So they don't have time to be patient. They don't have time to just, let me wait till so-and-so leaves and I'll get my... No, man, no. They have to take the opportunity now. So we've got to be very careful because someone like Billy Gilmore is very important. He's such an important player. He's got immense quality in terms of his ball playing skills, passing skills, his vision, his drive, the way he positions himself. He's a smart player, man. He's a smart player that Chelsea can do very, very good with. I honestly...
Another quick point, miss. We've known the fact that Jorginho has been such a critical player in most of the games, and especially in the past couple of months. We've always enforced the fact that if Jorginho leaves Chelsea, there has to be a player who has the quality that Jorginho has and does the thing what Jorginho does. The player who replaces Jorginho needs to have the quality that Jorginho has, right? Billy Gilmore is showing those qualities, and he can 100%. Develop on that a little bit more. I'm not sure if Tchouameni would be able to do that if he comes to Chelsea, or I'm not sure if Declan Rice would be able to do that, play a register. But, Billy Gilmore is showing that quality, and he'd be very promising. And I think so, Mace, to be very honest, let Jorginho play for the next season. I think so it'll be better if we sell him next to next season. He'll still be in the contracts. Sell Jorginho in the next to next season. Bring in a Billy Gilmore, play him to the for the next to next season. I think so.
Basically, in a couple of more seasons, 2 more seasons.
Yeah, 2 more seasons. I think so. Jorginho, just sell Jorginho after 2 more seasons, and then bring in a Billy Gilmore. If we sign in a new midfielder now, that would be more perfect and would be sorted more.
Live chat, here's another name for you, and this is a particular name I've been so excited about, and it gives me more of a belief that this guy can not only play holding midfielder, but he can be box to box, is Jude Bellingham. Look out for Jude Bellingham, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, 175 people of you guys, Jude Bellingham will be the next big superstar for Dortmund who's going to go for astronomical money. Money. Because he not only can sit, he has the passing range, because that's what you learn in Germany. In Germany, it's not just about sitting deep and just defending. You need to have the ability to progress the ball. You need to be able to not just defend, but take the ball forward and link up play. You have to do that. And that's the kind of player that we need. We can't just have a sitter. We can't just have a sitter. Like, you need more qualities than that. And I'm not saying Declan doesn't have that. Declan has that. But I'm saying that there are a lot of things that he needs to improve in his game, which for the amount of money that we're talking about, it just doesn't make sense. There's Kamara that's been thrown around in the live chat at the moment for 15 million. Marseille is literally letting go of a lot of their players, Kamara being one of them, because they're in financial strife. Tchouameni is one that's being strongly considered by Chelsea because he has all of those facets that Rice has, probably a little bit more. Maybe Rice has the Premier League experience that Tchouameni doesn't have. That's fine. And maybe Rice has the leadership qualities that Tchouameni doesn't have. That's fine. But it's not like we are lacking leaders. We've got Thiago Silva, we've got Azpilicueta, we've got Mason Mount that's developing into a leader, we've got Jorginho as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are leaders that are developing in the team. So Rudiger is turning out to be a bit of a beast as well. So that's the thing, the investment of Rice. I know Declared here, thank you so much for the super chat, saying Deja, for everything was said about Chilwell. See, the thing with Chilwell is left back position. The way he was playing before we were sort of touted, you have to admit, Declared, even the Leicester fans weren't even fancying someone like Chilwell. Chilwell wasn't having the greatest season before we bought him. We were literally talking about Emerson. At the start of the season, it was really Emerson, the last season, until he went for international duty, got himself an injury, and then Emerson disappeared. Then Chilwell came into the frame where Leicester was doing well. But then even Leicester, when they were dying off, Frank Lampard first season, Chilwell wasn't looking great. And the money that was getting talked about seemed ridiculous. Yeah, at the end, we ended up getting him for about, I don't know, what was it, 45 million, 50 million or something like that. And I know it's worked out now, which is fantastic. But left back position, you do need a lot more purchase. But as a holding midfielder, someone who's going to literally sit deep and defend, I'm not disrespecting the role, but to pay what West Ham is asking, I know you guys are going to say, we're never going to pay that. I get that. But how much do you think we're going to bring it down to? They're saying somewhere about 100 million. How much do you think we can bring it down to? 60? They're going to give us a 40 million discount? Unless they want to do a player swap thing with Tammy Abraham, perhaps that could happen. Maybe. I don't know. But once again, West Ham doesn't want to let go of this player. West Ham knows they've got an asset here. It's much like that Haaland situation. West Ham has 4 years of Declan Rice still. 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
So, it's a different scenario. So that's what I'm trying to say.
One question to you, Miss. We spoke this regarding this Jorginho situation, even in our past shows, right? And just after Champions League, when we won the Champions League, and we talked in your show as well that it might be the perfect time to sell Jorginho, right? We've said that. So what do you think about that now?
Oh, man. Look, I guess I wouldn't sell him. I said it before that I would not want to sell Jorginho now, But if the club ever did anything crazy like that, because they're so linked with Declan Rice,
Yeah.
you know, you don't buy a Declan Rice for, let's say, I don't know, 70 million, let's say, for argument's sake, right?
Yeah.
You don't buy someone for, let's say, even 60 million, because the live chat, some people are saying, oh, you know, Chilwell will never be, you know, Chilwell wasn't that much. Leicester wanted a lot of money. We got it for cheap. Okay, let's say we get Declan Rice for cheap, 60 million. I mean,
Yeah.
how does Jorginho then, you know, like you'd think Declan Rice would be playing a lot, and someone like Jorginho's time probably gets compromised. I'm thinking it from that perspective. If you are going that, because Declan Rice and Jorginho are two polar different. This is why I said Declan Rice suits Man United style, because Man United plays with a counter-attacking situation. They play with a counter-attacking. Yeah. Declan Rice and Jorginho are polar different in terms of stylistic sort of game. Declan Rice is not for possession-based. Jorginho is. But if you're going to get someone like Declan Rice, what's the information that you're giving to Jorginho?
Yeah.
That's what I was sort of trying to say, that make a decision. It's either Declan Rice or Jorginho, and then if it is Jorginho, find a holding midfielder that is more like Jorginho's style. Do you know what I mean? Unless you are completely thinking about changing your philosophy, your style, and you want to play a different type of football, and it suits Declan Rice kind of football, then why keep a Jorginho along? Why keep a Jorginho along? You might as well cash in and progress. That was the more of the ideology. Personally, I don't want Jorginho to go. I don't want him to go. I want him to stay. The man just won everything.
Yeah.
And I want Chelsea
for the next season he should be staying, right?
Exactly. I want Chelsea to dominate. I want Chelsea to dominate possession. I want Chelsea to be, you know, creating all the chances. I want Chelsea to be, you know, counter pressing and whatnot and all of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Jorginho and Declan Rice in a double pivot. Is Declan Rice a box-to-box midfielder? For me, he's not.
He's not.
He's not going to be able to give what Kante does. Kante is very, very supreme for us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I hate spammers, man. The live chat, but Ishan, that's my 2 cents about the whole Declan Rice thing. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the final sort of information about all the transfer news. Brent Smith has just provided a super chat. We'll end it very, very soon. Brent, thank you so much for this super chat. Player price Wi-Fi will only go up.
You're lagging.
Can you see me now?
It's still laggy a bit.
Maybe it's laggy for you, because I can see because I've got the YouTube here and it seems fine, bro.
Okay.
Live chat, let me know if I'm lagging or not. Brent Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. Player prices will go up due to inflation in today's economy. Anything under 50 million is a steal for a top player. I have to agree. And there are top players out there for around the 50 million mark. There are. In the French league, you know, I'm talking about the DM sort of position. Even within the Premier League, there's Basuma, who's supreme for Brighton.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not many people talk about Basuma. There's Calvin Phillips. I've literally spoken about Calvin Phillips many times in this particular stream. So there are players out there. The whole thing about Declan Rice is, look, he's a very good player, but we are in this whole conundrum where Mason Mount is best friends with him. You know, obviously Frank Lampard had the connection. Now, obviously Thomas Tuchel seems to like the player, but it's the price factor as well. It's the price factor. But anyway, Ndidi as well. Some people are saying Ndidi. Yeah, Ndidi is another one. There's plenty out there, man. There's plenty out there. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps things up for us, guys. While we are here, please, let's get the likes up to 100. There's still 173 of you guys. Thank you so much for always coming in. Please smash the like button. Let's get the likes all the way to 100. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. I'm just going to end the poll as well. Looks like people are saying Declan Rice's fair value is about 30 to 50 million. That's after 152 people voting. 44% are saying 50 to 70 million. So ladies and gentlemen, check out Ishan's socials as well in the description. As I said, let's get those likes. Let's drag those likes up to 100, guys, at least over 180 people. And just a quick announcement as well. I'm actually on annual leave from work. I've taken 3 days off from work because Eid is coming up. Eid is tomorrow for the Muslim, all the Muslims around the world. Well, for Australia, the Eid is tomorrow. So I've got 3 days off. So you're going to see a lot of streams coming up, maybe even double streams some days. So do look out for that. Whatever news comes up, we will have a stream on it. And have your notifications on. And we're going to have a very good time. Tomorrow we'll probably be back. Hopefully Ishan will be back as well, bring the latest Chelsea transfer news again. I feel like this is an important week for Haaland. If anything happens, it has to be within this week, I feel like, because that's the other thing that Dortmund are saying, that timing is very important. If it drags out too late, they're going to think about the next season and they're going to move on with Haaland. So we need to think about the timing. So ladies and gentlemen, do look out for more streams on the channel over the next few days. So until next time, everyone, take care, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Smash that like button, guys. Get it to 100. Thank you. See ya.